Hello, it's day 152, and I want to talk about tiny victories. So, my tiny little victory this week is that I have eaten lunch 4 days in a row. And that may not sound like a huge deal to you, but to me, it is a huge deal. Because skipping meals was one of my main weapons in my diet repertoire. It was the thing that I did to try to lose weight. And it never really led to any serious weight loss because usually what it looked like was I would eat breakfast at about 8 in the morning and I wouldn't eat anything else until about 8 at night. So I had this long desert of no food, no sustenance, only water or like sometimes tea or coffee to sustain me throughout the day. And then I wondered why I felt so crappy during the day and why I felt so crappy at night. And then at night, of course, when I got home, I would binge on dinner, more dinner, raid the fridge, raid the snack cupboard, take it all downstairs, eat it in silent, like hiding contemplation, hide it from everybody so that nobody sees what you're doing. And I thought that that was a failing of willpower rather than just a natural response of my body to this starvation that I was putting it through day after day. And not only did I not lose weight by doing that, I ended up fluctuating weight in such a way where my body really does try to hold on to absolutely everything now. And I really still don't trust myself to feed myself at regular intervals. I still feel a little pang of desperation every time I feel hunger. Hunger to me is a scary feeling. It's like, oh my God, we feel hunger. We're not supposed to. Willpower, willpower. Just suck some of this fat off my body. But no, I have to really learn how to fight that these days. And every meal so far has been a fight. I do not know how to stop when I'm full. I've been doing a little bit better with that, but my body still thinks that I'm not going to feed it for long, long periods of time. So every time I eat, it does. If you've never felt that desperate kind of hunger before, it really does feel like somebody else is controlling your hands, bringing the fork to your mouth, bringing the food in, chip, 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 or like brownies, get them in there. It really does feel almost like an out-of-body experience. And if you haven't experienced it, man, you are lucky because it's a scary feeling. But on a happier note, my body is responding to the fact that I am giving it regular meals now. I'm less cranky during the day. I'm less obsessed with food. Like, that's another thing. When I was going through that long period of skipping meals, man, my brain power was constantly on food. But now it's not. During my breaks, I read books or I make these videos or I talk to my coworkers. Sometimes I watch, funny cat videos. But there isn't that background static of like food, 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 food. It's like I can actually be myself during the day rather than just this zombie that's trying to get to the next meal. I do know that a lot of people feel like they need to skip meals because it makes them feel better or it makes them feel comfortable or it makes them feel like they're dieting correctly, but I really cannot recommend it. I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a doctor. I know I shouldn't be giving advice, but I think that you should be eating when you're hungry, you guys, and I think that you really need to avoid getting to that desperate hunger stage. It's not a good place to be. It's not a safe place to be mentally. I worry about the people who do intuitive eating. I worry about the people who do calorie counting and end up eating it all and not eating anything else for the rest of the day because they have to stay in that very strict calorie bubble. I worry about people who restrict down to the point where their meals are so teeny tiny that it's barely enough to satisfy. In other words, I wish intuitive eating was more popular. I understand why it's not, because there's not very much money in telling people to just trust their own body. But really, for the sake of health, I think it is the best way to do things.